What if I told you that the swelling in your legs and ankles isn't just fluid buildup, but an early warning sign that your circulation system is quietly starting to fail? I've worked with countless patients over 60 who were told the same thing. It's normal, just part of getting older. But then they start noticing something deeper. Their shoes feel tighter by evening. Their legs feel heavier, slower, harder to trust. And little by little, they begin to move less. Not because they want to, but because their body no longer feels the same. Here's what most people never realize. When swelling shows up in your lower legs, it often means the natural pumping system in your body is no longer doing its job. And if that system stays inactive, fluid doesn't just sit there, it builds, it lingers. And over time, it can affect your balance, your mobility, even your independence. In this video, I'm going to show you the only 5 simple movements that can reactivate that system before these small changes turn into something much harder to reverse. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. 1. The calf pump reset. The one movement most people over 60 completely overlook. Have you ever noticed how your ankles look almost normal in the morning? But by evening, they feel tight, heavy, and slightly swollen as if fluid has nowhere to go. That pattern is not random, and it's not just part of getting older. It's often a sign that one of the most important circulation systems in your body has quietly slowed down. Deep inside your lower legs are powerful muscles, your calves, that act like a second heart. Every time they contract, they gently push blood and fluid back up toward your heart against gravity. But here's what happens after 60. If you sit for long periods, or your muscles aren't being used properly, that pump becomes weak. And when the pump slows down, fluid stays behind, right around your ankles. Now here's the encouraging part. You can reactivate that pump in minutes, right where you are sitting. Sit in a sturdy chair with your back supported and both feet flat on the floor. Place your hands on your thighs to keep your posture steady. Slowly lift your heels off the ground while keeping your toes firmly planted. Don't rush this part. As you raise your heels, you should feel your calf muscles tighten, not sharply, but with a firm, controlled contraction. Pause at the top for about 3 seconds. This pause is critical. It gives your muscles enough time to actually push fluid upward instead of just bouncing through the motion. Then slowly lower your heels back down, taking about 3 seconds again. Think of it as a smooth, controlled cycle, not a quick up and down movement. Start with 10 repetitions. If your legs feel comfortable, gradually work up to 15 or even 20. The goal is not to exhaust yourself. It's to wake up that natural pumping system that's been underused. This is especially powerful if you do it after sitting for a long time, watching TV, reading, or even after a long car ride. That's when fluid tends to pool the most. Just a few minutes of this movement can make your legs feel noticeably lighter. Now, a small but important caution. If you feel sharp pain in your calf, or if one leg is significantly more swollen than the other, don't push through it. That's your body asking for medical attention, not exercise. When done consistently, this simple movement does more than reduce swelling. It improves circulation, supports balance, and even helps protect your independence because strong, responsive lower legs are essential for safe walking. And here's what most people don't realize. If this second heart in your legs isn't working properly, no amount of rest will fix the problem. But this is just the beginning, because even if you activate your calf pump, there's another hidden area in your ankle that can still trap fluid, and almost no one is addressing it the right way. If you're still watching and finding these insights helpful, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're with me. Now let's move on to point number 2. 2. Ankle circles. The overlooked movement that helps drain fluid from your ankles. It may sound almost too simple to matter, but the stiffness you feel around your ankles in the morning, or that tight, swollen feeling by evening, often starts in a place most people completely ignore: the small joints that barely move throughout your day. Here's what I've seen time and time again with patients over 60. They focus on walking more, maybe even elevating their legs, but they forget one critical piece of the puzzle: mobility at the ankle itself. And when that joint becomes stiff, fluid doesn't circulate properly. It lingers. It builds. That's when your socks start leaving deeper marks and your shoes feel tighter than they should. Think of your ankle like a gentle valve system. When it moves freely, it helps guide fluid and blood back upward. But when it becomes stiff or underused, that system slows down, almost like a drain that's partially blocked. The goal here is not force. It's not intensity. It's smooth, controlled motion that wakes the joint back up. You can do this sitting comfortably in your favorite chair or even lying down in bed. Lift one foot slightly off the ground, just enough so it can move freely without touching anything. Now, slowly begin to draw a circle with your toes, as if you're tracing the outline of a clock. Move in a full, controlled circle. Don't rush. Each rotation should take about 3 to 4 seconds. You may notice clicking, tightness, or uneven movement at first. That's completely normal, especially if your ankles haven't been moving much. Complete 10 circles in one direction, then gently reverse and do 10 in the opposite direction. Then switch to the other foot. What matters most here is awareness. Feel the joint moving. Notice where it feels restricted. Those are the exact areas that need this movement the most. A common mistake I see is people making tiny, fast circles. That doesn't activate the joint properly. Bigger, slower circles are far more effective because they move fluid through the tissues and improve joint lubrication. The best time to do this is first thing in the morning before you even stand up. Overnight, fluid tends to settle and joints stiffen. This simple movement helps wake up your ankles before you put weight on them. It's also incredibly helpful in the evening, especially if you've been sitting for long periods, watching TV, reading, or traveling. If you've ever felt like your ankles were locked or heavy when you first stood up, this exercise can make a noticeable difference within days. And beyond swelling, there's another important benefit. Improving ankle mobility plays a direct role in balance. Many falls in older adults don't start at the hips or knees. They start at the ankle. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Even if your calf muscles are working and your ankles are moving well, there's still one key muscle group most people never activate. And without it, fluid can continue to settle right where you don't want it. 3. Toe lifts. The overlooked muscle that keeps fluid from settling. Here's something most people never connect. That dragging, heavy feeling in your lower legs can actually come from the muscles in the front of your legs quietly shutting down, not your calves, the opposite side. These muscles right along your shin are responsible for lifting your foot when you walk, but they also play a hidden role in circulation. When they weaken, your lower legs lose balance in how fluid is pushed and returned. That's when swelling starts to linger instead of clearing out. And after 60, this happens more often than you'd think. You take shorter steps. You move more cautiously. Maybe you've had a close call with tripping. Without realizing it, you stop fully lifting your feet. Over time, those front leg muscles stop engaging. and fluid begins to settle. The good news is you can wake them back up with a very simple movement. Sit in a firm chair or stand while holding onto a counter or the back of a chair for support. Make sure your feet are flat on the ground and about hip width apart. Your posture should be upright, not leaning forward because alignment matters for how these muscles activate. Now, keeping your heels firmly planted on the floor, slowly lift your toes upward toward your shins. You'll feel a tightening along the front of your lower legs. That's exactly what you want. Don't jerk the movement or snap your toes up quickly. Lift them in a slow, controlled motion until you reach your comfortable limit. Hold that position for about 2 to 3 seconds. This hold is what re-engages the muscle fibers that have been underused. Then gently lower your toes back down to the floor. Let them fully relax before starting the next repetition. Begin with 10 repetitions. If that feels manageable, work your way up to 15. Perform this exercise once or twice a day, especially before walking or going out. It prepares your legs to move more safely and efficiently. If you want to increase the effectiveness, try doing one foot at a time. This helps you focus on each side individually and correct any imbalance you might not even be aware of. One subtle but important detail: keep your breathing steady. Many people tense up during new movements, which can reduce blood flow instead of improving it. As this muscle becomes stronger, you may notice something unexpected. Your steps feel lighter, you're less likely to catch your toes on the ground, and your legs don't feel as full by the end of the day. And that's not just about comfort, because when these muscles stay weak, it doesn't just affect swelling, it can quietly increase your risk of tripping and falling. But even if you strengthen both the front and back of your legs, there's still one daily habit that determines whether fluid moves or continues to build up without you realizing it. If you're still watching and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're here. Now let's keep going with point number 4. 4. Purposeful walking. Why just walking isn't fixing your swelling? Most people believe that as long as they're walking a little each day, they're doing everything right for their circulation. But here's the uncomfortable truth I often have to explain to my older patients. Not all walking actually helps reduce swelling. In fact, the way you walk can either activate your circulation or quietly make fluid buildup worse. I've seen many individuals over 60 who proudly tell me, I walk every day, yet they still struggle with swollen ankles by evening. When we look closer, the issue isn't the effort, it's the mechanics. As we age, it's natural to develop shorter, more cautious steps. You may start shuffling slightly, keeping your feet closer to the ground for safety. It feels stable, but over time, it reduces how much your muscles actually engage, especially your calves, which are essential for pushing fluid back up your legs. That means you're moving, but your pump system isn't fully turning on. So instead of helping circulation, you're simply shifting fluid around, not clearing it. Here's how to correct that in a safe, realistic way. Start by standing tall, whether you're walking inside your home, around your neighborhood, or even in a grocery store. Keep your posture upright, eyes forward, and shoulders relaxed. This isn't about speed, it's about awareness. As you take each step, focus on how your foot contacts the ground. Your heel should touch down first. Then, instead of placing your whole foot flat all at once, gently roll forward through the middle of your foot. Finally, push off through your toes. This is the most important part. That push activates your calf muscles, which act like a pump to move blood and fluid upward. Without that push, the system doesn't fully engage. Walk at a comfortable pace, but with intention. Even 10 to 15 minutes a day can make a noticeable difference if done correctly. If balance is a concern, start in a safe, familiar environment like your living room or a hallway where you can lightly touch a wall if needed. One helpful tip is to think of each step as a smooth rocking motion from heel to toe, not flat, not rushed, and definitely not shuffling. If you notice your steps becoming shorter or heavier as you get tired, that's your signal to pause and rest. Quality matters far more than quantity here. Over time, this style of walking not only helps reduce swelling, but also improves stability, coordination, and confidence in your movement, all of which become increasingly important as the years go on. And here's something many people don't realize until much later. Even if you walk correctly and activate your muscles during the day, gravity is still working against you for hours at a time. And if you don't counteract that effect, fluid can continue to collect no matter how active you are. 5. Legs up the wall. The simple reset that lets gravity work for you. By the time evening rolls around, if your ankles feel tight, your socks leave deep marks, or your shoes suddenly feel small, that's not random. That's gravity quietly winning all day long. From the moment you get out of bed, gravity is constantly pulling fluid downward into your legs and feet. And after 60, your body doesn't push that fluid back up as efficiently as it used to. Even if you've been moving, even if you've done everything right, some of that fluid still lingers. That's why this next movement is so powerful. It doesn't rely on effort, strength, or endurance. It simply changes your position and lets your body reset itself. Find a comfortable spot near a wall, your bedroom floor, a yoga mat, or even a carpeted area works just fine. Slowly lower yourself down onto your back. If getting to the floor feels challenging, you can modify this by lying on a bed and placing your legs up against a headboard or pillows. Now gently swing your legs up so they rest against the wall. Your hips don't have to be perfectly flush against it. A few inches away is completely fine. The key is that your legs are elevated above the level of your heart. Let your arms rest comfortably at your sides, palms facing up if that feels natural. Close your eyes if you'd like. This is not an active exercise, it's a passive reset. Stay in this position for about 10 to 15 minutes. As you lie there, something important begins to happen. The fluid that has been pooling in your lower legs all day finally has a chance to move back towards your core circulation. Your veins no longer have to fight gravity. Instead, gravity is now assisting the return flow. You may even feel a gentle lightness or subtle tingling in your legs. That's often a sign that circulation is improving. One helpful tip: try slow, relaxed breathing while you're in this position. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. This helps your body relax and enhances the overall effect. If having your legs fully straight against the wall feels uncomfortable, you can place a small pillow under your knees for slight support. Comfort matters. The more relaxed you are, the more effective this becomes. Now, a word of caution: if you have uncontrolled high blood pressure, certain heart conditions, or difficulty getting up from the floor safely, it's important to modify this or speak with your healthcare provider first. Safety always comes first. When you're ready to come out of the position, don't rush. Slowly bend your knees, roll gently to one side, and take a moment before sitting up. This prevents dizziness and helps your body adjust. Many people are surprised by how much lighter their legs feel after just one session, but here's what truly matters. Doing this once is helpful, but combining it with the right movements throughout the day is what creates lasting change. Because when you understand how to support your circulation from morning to night, you're not just reducing swelling, you're protecting your mobility, your independence, and your confidence with every step you take. So the real question becomes, what happens when you put all five of these movements together into one simple daily routine? A quiet signal you shouldn't ignore, and what your legs are telling you about the years ahead. What you've been experiencing in your legs and ankles is not random, and it's not just something you have to live with as you get older. In many ways, it's one of the earliest and most visible signals your body gives you, a gentle warning that circulation is slowing, muscles are disengaging, and small systems that once worked automatically now need your attention. The truth is, after 60, the body becomes more efficient in some ways, but also more fragile in others. Fluid doesn't move as easily, muscles don't activate without intention, and something as simple as sitting too long, walking without proper movement, or going to bed with fluid already pooled in your lower legs can quietly set the stage for bigger problems. Many people don't think about what happens overnight. But when you lie down with swelling still present, your body spends hours trying to redistribute that fluid. In some cases, this can affect sleep quality, breathing patterns, or even how your heart and kidneys manage fluid balance through the night. You may wake up feeling stiff, heavy, or less stable without realizing it started the evening before. This is how small, daily patterns become long-term health issues. If nothing changes, the next 1 to 3 years can look very different. Swelling may become more persistent, not just at night, but throughout the day. Walking may feel more tiring, balance may become less reliable. You might start avoiding certain activities, but longer walks, outings, even standing for extended periods, not because you want to, but because your body no longer feels as dependable. In over 5 years, these small limitations can gradually affect independence. But this is not a fixed path. What you've learned today is not just a set of exercises, it's a way to restore communication between your muscles, your circulation, and your daily movement. When you activate your calf pump, restore ankle mobility, strengthen the front of your legs, walk with intention, and use elevation wisely, you're not just reducing swelling. You're preserving your ability to move freely, confidently, and safely. You're protecting your balance, you're supporting your circulation, and perhaps most importantly, you're maintaining control over how your body feels each day. The difference between decline and stability often comes down to small, consistent actions. So don't wait for the swelling to get worse before you take it seriously. Because once you begin to understand what your body is telling you and respond the right way, you're not just managing symptoms, you're shaping the future of your health, one simple movement at a time. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.